Cape Town's transportation system, like many other cities in Africa, is plagued by rush hour gridlock, inefficient infrastructure, violence, and particularly unsafe environments. But what if this did not have to be the fate of transportation in African cities? By incorporating the above issues into the development of a new mode of transportation, a team of UCT architects, planners, and designers have conceptualized a monovehicle that envisions an alternative future for the art of mobility in Africa. The future of African mobility exists against a bleak backdrop of challenges. This talk introduces an alternative form of mobility put forward by a diverse team of UCT future thinkers that have envisioned a specialized mode of transport that extends beyond the debilitating movement within African cities, a monovehicle that enhances individual mobility and safety for citizens across Africa attempting to traverse the future African city. In 2021, the Norman Foster Foundation invited the University of Cape Town to contribute towards an exhibition, Motion, Autos, Art and Architecture, to be held at the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao in April of 2022. The university's contribution, a proposal for the future that could respond to the complexities of mobility in an African city. Understanding the challenges, our response was to run a rapid design studio. The studio was facilitated by Professor Edgar Peterser, who is the director of the Africa Center for Cities, and Dr. Philippa Tumubwene. It was run with a team of interdisciplinary students from the School of Architecture, Planning and Geomatics. Dr. Heaton Bagat and Daniel Zhu, together with leading experts in the fields of transport, urban planning and design, focused the design processes on the challenges of mobility in an African urban setting. Through experimentation and speculation, the studio explored how mobility could engage with historic, economic, and political challenges in the broader context of African urbanity, using Cape Town as an immediate context. The two biggest challenges put forward by the leading experts were gridlock traffic during rush hour, and specific to Cape Town, the ongoing taxi violence that debilitates commuters from accessing public transport. The latter being particularly disruptive for women and children commuting alone or at night. Understanding the challenges, one of the central themes that was identified in the studio was that whatever the future of mobility in Africa would look like, it had to enhance the ability of the individual and address the challenges of them traveling across vast distances to access public and shared transport. The idea to enhance individual mobility was aimed at eliminating the need for commuters to navigate long distances in unsafe environments and unreliable transportation. The team saw this as a way to experiment with technology, to enhance an individual's mobility, and to promote accessible and convenient public transport in the context of Cape Town, South Africa. Issues of space, time, and energy were considered and optimized in this design, alongside questions surrounding transportation justice, waiting times, adaptability for public transit, ways to connect between different modes of transport, and more recently, post-pandemic concerns. Through this exploration, the idea of the U+, and by extension, the S+, were put forward by the team. The U+ put forward is the concept of a monovehicle, the image of a moving tire under the African sun, that as a child, in most parts of Africa, you would have pushed around with a tire using sticks or your hands. The U+ concept is that as you grow up, you slip into that tire that you played with as a child as your mode of transport. The blue sky conceptual proposition is reminiscent of a visual that is familiar on the continent metaphorically and literally. The S+ takes the concept of the U+ a little further by converting a range of U+ into a fleet of S+ that respond to a need for public transportation and switching between different modes of transport, depending on the distance you wish to travel. The ability of the U+ to transform into an S+ allows 6 separate units to join together to travel to destinations along the same route. As individuals arrive at their various destinations on the same route, they can either detach their whole mobility unit or let another commuter take their place. The S+ can importantly operate alongside other modes of transport like taxis and buses, while empowering the community by minimizing their reliance on the relationship with volatile public transport. In addition to empowering individuals in any community, The U Plus as a kit of generic parts that are cost-effective and readily available is conceptualized to be affordable for the majority of Cape Townians. The mono vehicle has a very functional design that can be built with a kit of parts, while the more specialized engine and panels could be sourced from a U Plus factory and assembled by the individual in their home. Individual expression can be imparted through metalwork and weaving on a unit. The prototype was made in a workshop in the Epping industrial area through a process of experimentation and highly worked aluminium, raw steel sections, pallet timber, and plastic Coke bottles. Over 3 months, the concept and drawings were developed into exhibition-ready models in discussion with the Norman Foster Foundation and the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. In the beginning of November 2021, we presented an idea that included a full-scale U Plus prototype. Earlier this year, the prototype was shipped to the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, where it has been on display as part of the Motion Autos Art and Architecture exhibition that opened on the 8th of April 2022. The exhibition showcases the design of automobiles over the last 100 years. On the top floor of the museum, the exhibition makes space for a futures gallery, in which invited schools of design and architecture have proposed futures for mobility. It is in this space that the U Plus stands at 2.5 meters high as a centerpiece of an installation that weighs approximately 500 kilograms and stands at 12 meters tall. Mobility in African cities is defined by rush hour gridlock, violence, unsafe environments, and an increasing unreliability of public transport. These challenges paint a grey landscape for the future of mobility on the continent. In response, within the context of the Motion, Autos, Art and Architecture exhibition at the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, the team at UCT conceptualized a mono-vehicle prototype that responds to access, safety, individual and communal mobility within the context of Cape Town, South Africa, that can be transferred to other cities facing similar mobility challenges. The design and conceptualization of the prototype, the U Plus, provides a visionary lens as to what the future of mobility could look like in Africa. Thank you for watching.